In 1989, I had a regular gig on a series about the war in Vietnam called China Beach. My interior world was a version of hell, and on the outside I was just pretending I belonged, giving my best impersonation of a successful actor, of a human. The role of a Marine who'd seen too much was just me in different clothes, short hair, and a dirty face. A godsend, really, a place where the inside of me worked on the outside. Hiatus is coming up. My agent sends me a script. It's called Transit, later changed to The First Power. Logline: a dedicated LA police detective and a psychic must stop a demonic serial killer who was given the powers of resurrection, teleportation, and possession. Demonic serial killer. That's me. I read the script. It's good. I go in to meet with the casting director. Let's call her Wendy. Sweet as can be, spiritually awake and present. It's like we're kindred souls, old buddies. And after we chat, she says, "Well, what'd you think about the script?" I think it'd be a gas. She shakes her head. No. No? No. I'm sorry. What do you mean, no? I mean, no, you don't want to do this. I don't? No, don't do this. This is what? You just don't want to do this job. It's going to fuck you up. Really? Well, for one thing, you'll be typecast. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think so. Because I don't know talent. I'm better than that. She cocks her head like, really? That's where you're going with this? I'm an actor. As if that says everything. She looks at me, kind of shakes her head, walks back behind her desk, sits down, and after one more glance in my direction says, "I'll set up the meeting." "Thanks, Wendy. I want to ask something, but nothing comes." "See ya." Bye. I'm backing toward the door. "Bye." She nods her head. She's already on to the next thing. Clearly, we're no longer buddies. I read with Lou Diamond Phillips, the lead, the detective. Our last scene ends with me in his face, evil and dark as the day is long. We're inches apart. I'm hating him, vibing him, trying to kill him with my eyes. He's pushing back, not crumbling. Then something passes across his face. Suddenly he's unsure, like, sweet Jesus, is this guy really crazy? Then he bursts out laughing, shaking it off. "Okay, I get it. Okay, I got the job." So I was pretty simplistic in my approach to acting. Just imagine the circumstances of a life, to be grounded in that life, and have permission to live in this other world, then dig deep down into my hidden self to fill the space up from the inside. Which is great if you're on something like This Is Us, or as I like to call it, The Crying Show. But demonic serial killer, maybe not so much. I begin my research. A witchcraft store in West Hollywood, creepy spell books, black and red candles. Friends who have friends who know about such things. I hear stories. Sex, large exotic snakes and sex. Drug-fueled orgies, midnight mass, more sex. My favorite story is about L. Ron Hubbard and a rocket scientist from JPL trying to conjure the goddess of sex. Sex magic with a K. The writer-director Robert Resnikoff has gone deep into Satanism, and he tells me what he's learned about the world. The evil extremes people will go to find power. The loss of self if one wanders too far away into the dark. About the partially fictional process of trading in your humanity to receive each of the 7 powers of hell. The first power of which is the power of immortality, transiting one's soul into another body. Bob tells me he based my character on Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. For those of you who weren't here at the time, Richard Ramirez was a serial killer, thief, and rapist who rampaged through Southern California for several months in '84 and '85. He'd slip into a home through an unlocked sliding door or window and terrorize the occupants. Young women, grandmothers, couples, children. He drew pentagrams on walls and sometimes on his victim's flesh. He chose targets at random, used a variety of weapons: gun, knife, hammer, tire iron, strangulation with a phone cord. No one felt safe. The question I ask is, where does this come from? What makes someone do this? As it turns out, Satanism isn't the cause. It's more of an organizing principle. Richard's father beat him when he was drunk, causing multiple head traumas and brain damage. He disciplined him by tying him overnight to a cross in a nearby cemetery. An older cousin, a decorated Green Beret recently returned from Vietnam, told the young boy stories of the atrocities he'd committed, complete with Polaroids of the women he'd raped or dismembered. He taught Richard various ways to torture and kill. Richard was with him when he shot his wife in the face with a handgun. His older sister's husband, an inveterate peeping Tom, took Richard along nightly to learn the ropes of creeping. Drugged by the age of 10, LSD at 15, smoking cocaine, etc., then he found Satanism. Quote, "Satan is the stabilizing force in my life. It gives me a reason to be. It is a driving force that motivates me into doing things. I dream about this shit." This is the kind of history I build for my character: a helpless boy, abused, powerless, then finding power in the darkness and the killing of the abusers or anyone who looks remotely like them. And it's spring of 1989, and the Night Stalker himself is on trial in downtown LA. I go to see him. Trial for a capital crime is often dull. It drags on forever. I didn't think I'd see anything dramatic. I just wanted to see the guy. So the defense table is on the left up front, and the doorway to the courtroom is on the left at the rear. And every time Richard hears the doors open, he swings all the way around to his right to see who's coming in. Now I sit diagonally in the last row all the way to the right, and each time he swings around and swings back, I get to see his face. Then after half a dozen times coming back around, his attention catches on me and he stops. And we stare at each other, one of those timeless moments that still and always will be happening somewhere in the multiverse. And he turns back, eyes front, and I'm left with that. My first scene is in a cave in the old LA Zoo. The woman is staked out in 4-point restraints in the middle of a pentagram drawn in the dirt, surrounded by candles, blood drawings on the walls. Her blouse has been torn open. She's gagged. I straddle her, a knee on each side. I use a knife to cut off her bra as I chant the Lord's Prayer backwards, looking deep into her eyes, feeding on her terror, letting it fill me with the feeling of power. God help me. We're not meant to do that. Psychically, spiritually, we're not meant to feed off each other, even in little ways, trying to get your love, your approval, your attention, using someone or something else to fill the raging void inside, which of course is impossible. Ask any junkie, sex addict, overeater, alcoholic. Doesn't stop anyone from trying and trying and trying and trying. In this regard, a serial is like a vampire or a pedophile or a creepy Hollywood producer, sucking life from where it's abundant into the black hole of need where it's not, without regard to the effect on the victim. We're meant to give to each other, not take from each other, to get in touch with the fullness of our true self within, then offer that fullness to the world. This is what all spiritual work is about. And like a cross turned upside down or the Lord's Prayer recited backward, when we reverse the meaning of life from giving to taking, we open ourselves to the negativity of human depravity, what you can call the forces of darkness. Even when we're playing. I just want to do a good job. I built the world, now I imagine my way into a state of taking, scaring people and feasting on their fear. God, Wendy was right. I wasn't typecast, but the movie fucked me up. Took me years to recover. The shoot is a shit show. A wife leaves a husband for another woman, another marriage breaks up, a rising actress soon leaves the business, a stunt driver I know hits a pipe ramp too fast, making half a roll too many on the old 6th Street Bridge, landing upside down in 6 weeks in the hospital. Another stunt man misjudges a 3-story cable fall and lands hard face down. It takes a long time for him to get up. Walking ahead of me up a steep steel stairway, the executive producer's ankle snaps, and I have to keep us both from tumbling to the bottom and hold her till someone can come and help us down. I break a rib in a stunt fight. Rather, someone else breaks my rib in a stunt fight. And then someone else and someone else and someone else. Broken ribs, broken ribs. It's like a fucking barbecue joint out here. There is so much more to this story I'd love to tell, but how does one condense 35 years into a few sentences? What I can tell you is this. We weren't cursed, but we were out of alignment with the good and the true. And what I saw when I locked eyes with Richard Ramirez wasn't evil, but absence. Void, dark, gray, spinning discs that had never looked on beauty or love. He learned to feed off the darkness, but the world he lived in was nothing but darkness. Outside, inside, same. I was a hapless actor, pretend eating souls all night, then coming home at dawn to my pregnant girlfriend, our sunny little Spanish duplex, sheer curtains and hardwood floors, all the darkness from the character mixing with the darkness that was already inside me. Coming in quiet so as not to wake her, feeding the cat, having a coffee, a cigarette, pretending I knew what I was doing, pretending I belonged there. Thank you.